Welcome back to Digital Class, and now we're looking at human respiratory system. So again, human respiratory system is something that we have learned in our revision notes, and now it's very important again that we're looking at this topic again with a more deeper insight. Okay, so first we must understand that human respiratory system is basically a system that allows our body to breathe in oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide by releasing it back to the air. Okay, so just now again in the composition of air, we learn about nitrogen, we learn about oxygen, carbon dioxide, let me just put CO2, and water vapor. Okay, now when we breathe in carbon nitrogen and we breathe out of nitrogen, it will still be the same. Okay, oxygen when we breathe in, when we breathe out, the amount of oxygen when we breathe in and breathe out is different. The amount when we breathe out will be so much lesser. Not so much lesser, okay, but it will be lesser lah. Okay, not so much lesser. But carbon dioxide, when we breathe out, it will be even more than when we breathe in. And the same goes to water vapor. Okay, but again, the main two things that we are focusing now is still on oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is something that you should know. Now, again, there are four different main parts that's in our human respiratory system. The first is nose. So in simple, nose basically is air goes into our body through our nose when we breathe in. Okay, and there's tiny hairs inside our nostrils that catch the dust. Okay, now then after going into our nose, it will go through our windpipe. Again, air will travel from our nose to our lungs through our windpipe. And that actually is very important to know that this windpipe later on will split into tinier tubes inside the lung. Okay, and why does it split? Because it helps the air to reach all parts of our lung. Okay, let me just quickly draw a very interesting and simple diagram for you. Then, yeah, okay, I'm not good in drawing, but yeah, basically that's what happened. Okay, so example, this is our lung, this is our lung. So this is the windpipe. So when air is breathing in, as you can see here, then because it's split in different tinier tubes, so it will just go. Then it's easy to get into different parts of the lung. Okay, now next part, lung, which is the one we draw here, big here. What happened is to this lung, its lung have this tiny air sacs where gases are exchanged. Huh? Teacher, what does that mean? So let me just quickly draw it for you. So what happened is, even to be more specific, here actually we have a lot of something called a tiny air sacs. Okay. So what happened is when this air go in and go to this tiny tube, it will go to this tiny air sacs. Okay. And here they use the word there's gases exchange. What does it mean? What happened is actually on that particular tiny air sacs, there's actually all the blood vessels that's covering. Okay. And what does that help? Because we know that oxygens need to be traveled passed to the whole body through our blood. So basically, let me just quickly draw it for you here. Air is enter here, then go into this tiny air sac, and that is blood vessel. And the blood vessel inside have blood, and the blood will carry the oxygens to our parts to other bodies, and at the same time the carbon dioxide will be put it back, carried by the blood, and later go back through here, then breathe out. Okay, so you can see that I've actually mentioned here, oxygens from the air enters and carbon dioxide from our body released through this tiny air sacs. Okay, again, is working with the circulatory system. And other than that, we actually have something that is not that common compared to these three, is this diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm basically is again a thin sheet of muscle that you can see here. And what happened? When it will move, when we inhale and exhale. What happens is when we inhale, means that we breathe in, this diaphragm will move downwards. Why? because when it moves downwards, it makes more room in our lung. The lung will be able to expand, then we can bring in more air to the lung. On the other hand, when we exhale, this will go upwards. Why? Because it reduces the space in our lung and push the air out of our body. Okay, and this diaphragm is a very important parts of this respiratory system. Okay, so let me just quickly discuss more in depth for this small little tiny SX in our small little part here. So as I show you here, this is the lung, this is the tiny tubes, and inside these tiny tubes, we have all these tiny SX where there is what? The blood vessel around. So what happened here? Yes, these tiny SX have this air. For example, we have oxygen. Then you give this oxygen to the blood, where the blood will carry the oxygens to different parts of the body. And after that, after oxygen is being carried to different parts of the body, and they will also give back the carbon dioxide, which is something they don't need, right? So when it comes back, then carbon dioxide will be travel given here to be what? To be released out of the body. At the same time, they will give them what? Oxygens and carry again to our body. So again, note that we breathe in oxygens from the air and release carbon dioxide from our body. Through what? Through this SX in the lung. And actually, there is a name for all these SX, but we are not learning it here in PSRE. Okay? And that is basically the whole idea of human respiratory system here. I hope you learned something, and thank you. See you. Bye bye.